Hi, everyone. My name is Pam Duffy. I am from ASHRAE Region 8, and I'm here to talk to you today about our Region 8 Basecamp CRC. This is the Basecamp project that we use as a region to stay connected. This video is going to be a short presentation followed by a walkthrough of Basecamp. In total, this will be about 10 minutes, so hopefully pretty painless. What I'm going to cover in this video is what we use Basecamp for in our region, who uses our region Basecamp, and why our region chooses to use Basecamp as a tool. And then we're going to shift over. I'm going to show you the Basecamp website, and we're going to look at how to find reference files on Basecamp and where to drop your chapter files on Basecamp. And then finally, I'm going to show you some best practices of how to modify your email alerts, how to adjust your notifications for posts so that not everybody else gets email alerts, and how to use the Basecamp mobile app. Let's get started. The Region 8 CRC Basecamp is used for chapters to communicate with our region leaders and region leaders to communicate with chapter presidents, newsletter editors, delegates, and alternates. So what we generally see Region 8 CRC Basecamp used for is chapters submitting their reports to the DRC and then uploading copies of the RVC reports from specific chapter chairs into the Basecamp so that you have a complete collection of all of your reports that have been submitted to the region. We also use Basecamp to share documents and photos within the region. It allows you to collaborate with other chapters in the region, so you can spy in on what other chapters are doing, what their newsletters look like, what their reports look like, etc. You can also access region documents like agendas, guidance documents, or templates of reports, etc. Those are all in the CRC Basecamp. For chapters, this is basically a curation of your chapter's Golden Gavel submission. If you do this correctly and you're uploading your documents and photos throughout the year, when it comes time to create your submission for the Golden Gavel, you should have very little to nothing to do for your Golden Gavel submission. So it's a digital Golden Gavel submission. For region leaders, this is a way that you can access everything about all chapters in one place. And again, if everyone is using Basecamp correctly, no emails need to be sent. Hey, can you send me your last newsletter? When's your next event? What's the last report? It's all available in Basecamp. So it's really helpful for everyone to use this tool. So the reason that we use Basecamp is because it is a place for us to securely store our documents throughout the region. So that includes everything from our guiding documents to our rules of the board to financial documents. All of those are securely stored within Basecamp servers. It allows us to reduce email traffic. So again, instead of one person emailing a bunch of people, all those reports coming back to another person, we all have full-time jobs. This is a volunteer role for us. Using Basecamp allows us to reduce the amount of email that we get from day to day. Plus, it allows us to stay organized. As region leaders, we have many chapters in our region that we need to keep track of. And so every time we would get an email with a document, we would have to find a place on our desktop to store it. And then, of course, when we transition to our new role, all of those documents have to be passed on to the next person. By using Basecamp, it's all there. There's no emails to be sent. There's no files to be stored. They're already stored, and then they're ready for transition. When we are ready to transition to a new leader, we change those who are able to access the Basecamp. So it's like curating a repository of our historical documents in the region, and there's really no work that has to be done as long as we're uploading correctly throughout the year. Also, the society as a whole has adopted Basecamp as our platform for project management. That includes technical committees, standing committees, and some chapters do even use Basecamp. So getting familiar with Basecamp now is a great way to start understanding what you need to know to get involved in next levels of ASHRAE. If you are interested, the Basecamp project management platform is available for chapter use. We do have some chapters in our region that are using it very successfully. If you're interested, you can contact your RECC for more information. For our region Basecamp, only certain people have access to that information. Part of that is because only certain people should have access to that information. And part of that is because if too many people get access to Basecamp, we risk losing the organization that we have in Basecamp today. So in our region CRC Basecamp, our region leadership and Golden Gavel Committee do have access to the region Basecamp. From the chapter level, presidents, delegates, alternates, and newsletter editors all have access to the Basecamp. And then presidents-elects are added a few weeks before the president-elect training that in our region takes place in February. So now I'm going to move over to my web browser and show you how to use Basecamp. So here I am at www.basecamp.com, and over here to the right, we're going to sign in. Now for me, it automatically signed me in, but an important thing to know is your email address that's used for your login is going to be whatever is on your chapter CIQ, or basically whatever your ASHRAE.org login is. So if you don't want that to be your Basecamp login because you'd rather receive your notification emails to maybe a different email address, then please let your region, our ECC, know. We can change those email addresses on the back end. So we're going to log in to Basecamp. And as you'll see here on my screen, I have several different Basecamp projects to choose from. So you can see that I'm involved in a variety of different groups that are using Basecamp projects to stay organized. The one that we're talking about today is the ASHRAE Region 8 CRC Basecamp. So I'm going to click into here. And the area that you really want to know the most about is docs and files. So we're going to click into Docs and Files, and here you can find really any information that you need about the region. So let's say you wanted to find the agenda for the upcoming President-elect training. That would be under Region Events and Training, President-elect Training, and then you can navigate to the year. But you'll also see we have additional folders in here for best practices or data that's useful year over year. It's not specific to February 2019. It's always specific to President-elect training, so that information will be here as well. So if you are looking for this information, this is where you would find it. You'll see you can also find the presentations loaded in here from President-elect training. So again, for future reference. So again, what we're seeing here is there's no need for somebody to email later, here's the copy of the presentation, or even request that. You just log into the Basecamp and that information is already there for you. So another way of finding documents, maybe if you weren't following that exact structure or the file structure doesn't make sense to you, I highly recommend the find function up at the top right. The find function in Basecamp is really powerful. So if you were to just search for chapter president orientation, you can see that it pops right up. So what if you want to be loading in your chapter files? Again, docs and files, chapter activities, and then select on your chapter. So for this moment, I'm going to look at the Austin chapters file. So what you'll see in here is their CIQ, their bylaws, their MBOs, their RVC officer updates, their newsletter, their chapter reports, and then planning meetings. So these would be like BOG meetings or maybe strategy meetings for the year. So chapter reports is where you would go in and just upload your chapter report. All you do is need to click New and upload a file. You can also link a file from another platform if that's what you're using. So it's that easy. Very easy to load things into Basecamp. One thing I just want to point out is at the beginning of the year, we will be providing a template folder structure for you. So there's no need to create your own folder. We will create the next year's set of chapter activity folders. So chapter activities 2019-2020, for example. And within that folder, you'll have all the subfolders you need. We're not going to get rid of the bylaws or some of the other historical items in here, but everything else will be there for your use. So it's just a matter of knowing exactly where to go in Basecamp. If you're the type of person that likes to use bookmarks, you can just use your own custom bookmark that'll open directly to this file for you. So with that, there's just a couple of other best practices that I'd like to make you aware of with Basecamp. One is, first, please upload a profile photo. I know that not everybody loves to have their photo uploaded, but it really does help get to know the other leaders in the region when you can see them by face and when you can see the photos that they've uploaded by face. So right now you can tell there's about half of us in the region that have uploaded their profile photo. I would really appreciate it if you can go in and load in yours. Just again, it just helps with collaboration and remembering who each other is, even though we're working from afar. So to upload your photo, just go to the top right and go to My Profile. You can upload your photo there. While we're over here, I want to take a look at your notification settings. So something that people always tell me when they first get started in Basecamp is that I'm getting way too many emails, and they want to go in and turn all notifications off. If you do this, you will turn off all notifications, which means you are now saying, I am going to be responsible for logging into Basecamp once a day, once a week, whenever, to check what's going on in there. So turning notifications off is the nuclear option. I don't suggest that you turn off notifications. What I do suggest is editing your notifications and deciding exactly what you want to be notified about. I think a lot of people have this set on as the default setting, notify me about everything. You can choose to only be notified when somebody sends you a direct ping or mentions you specifically in a post or in a comment. You can also turn off email notifications if you want. You can turn off pop-up notifications if you'd like. You can also have notifications sent to your mobile device if you're using the Basecamp mobile app. And then you can also choose when you want to be notified. So all of those settings are located in the top right corner, and I would just ensure that you have it set up the way that you want. Again, you'll note here that Basecamp will be bundling any notifications together if they happen within a few minutes of each other, so you're not going to get one for every single notification. So they will come in groups. So another thing is to be mindful of when you're making posts, who you're notifying when you're uploading a specific document. So if I wanted to upload a file, I'm just going to choose a random file from my computer. So if I were to upload this file to the region Basecamp, please make sure that you are looking at this little radio button section. When you post, who should you notify? I have this set to, when I post, don't notify anyone, which is okay, but if I'm uploading a report that I need our DRC to see, then I really need to choose to notify at least him and maybe the other people in my chapter. So what I do is go in to the who should I notify, and by default, it had everyone selected. So I select no one, and then I select who specifically needs to see that I've uploaded this. So I'm going to select John Zimko, the DRC, and if I were uploading reports on behalf of the Austin chapter, I might also choose Vanessa, who's the current chapter president. So save the changes, and then as you can see, it'll show who will notify when I upload this. Automatically, it'll send them an email. So again, there's no need to send a separate email that says, hey, I've uploaded the file into Basecamp. They will receive the notification if they have their notification settings set up appropriately. So the last thing I want to talk about is the mobile app for Basecamp. If you are going to be uploading a lot of photos to your Basecamp, or if you just do a lot of work on your mobile device, I highly recommend downloading the Basecamp mobile app to your mobile device. What that allows you to do is upload files directly into the app. So there's no additional step required of, somehow getting them on your computer and then dropping them into Basecamp. You can do it all from here. So I highly recommend that. You can also get notifications from Basecamp on your phone, as you saw in the notification settings, if you'd rather that instead of getting them by email. So with that concludes the presentation in the walkthrough of Basecamp CRC. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. My email address is pam.duffy.ashrae@gmail.com. I hope you found this video useful. And again, if you have any questions or feedback, let me know. Have a great day.